we're hanging out here today with Dennis. We're going to talk about our tournament, and I don't know what is going to happen today because the last time we were here, he wouldn't let us leave. We had to go to the bathroom. He wouldn't let us out.
We got Phil.
And now Phil just showed up on a plane. We didn't even know he was coming. They thought he was coming tomorrow.
I hope he ate his Wheaties this morning.
Now he can take over.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. It's not a complete disaster.
He's always talking all the time, too. So, I hope we get to talk.
Yeah, I hope
because I never get to talk at all. So.
Guys, just don't start telling my stories.
We'll leave that to
We
you.
got a few of them. So, but no, really cool. And Phil, you lead the way today and make sure that everybody knows what we're doing and make sure you bring up this tournament. So, I know you didn't make it last year. Kind of bummer that you dogged us really hard, but hopefully you're there this year. And if you can just make sure you are in charge today and take charge in the room because you're kind of a take charge.
So you brought your hard hat.
Yeah,
You mean your own business. You mean business on.
Safety first. You got your life jacket?
So just make sure that we're good because I got a headache. I'm not feeling real well, and you better not go in there and clam up. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
So I woke up this morning, or I should say I went to bed last night with it in my head that I'm going fishing today, right? And then when I woke up this morning with my blistering headache, thinking about all the things I got to do today that are due tomorrow. I'm like, I can't go fishing today.
No.
But then I came in this morning and I started working real hard at knocking some things off my list.
I always tell my daughter, you can't use the word but.
Right.
She's like, but Dad, no but.
Yeah, so I'm starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here.
Cool.
So
Yeah, welcome to my world.
I'm feeling positive, yeah?
Work really hard to make this time to fish.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's the thing. You got to carve it out. And my wife has been telling me, she's like, you got to just carve it out and make it happen. You keep, you're a workaholic. You're going to drive yourself into the ground and all that other kind of stuff. She keeps telling me that. So I'm like, I don't know.
Well, that's what our good buddies on Surreal said. They're like, there's no way you're going to get Dennis fishing. We've asked him 100 times, and he's never able to go.
Curtis called me yesterday.
Oh, he did?
But I didn't realize, yeah.
He called me 5 minutes ago.
Did he?
He knows we're here.
Yeah. So he called me, and he goes, well, he left a message, because I didn't see the call come in. And he goes, oh, I love the shirts, blah, 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 and good luck fishing with Paul tomorrow. He's said it real slow, and we're like, make sure you go. He kind of
No, he gave us some of the shirts too, so we got some of his shirts.
Oh, cool.
They look cool. You did a good job, as usual.
Thank you very much. So, welcome to Connected by Water. You've been here before. You're no stranger to the program. You guys, this is your first time on the show, so hopefully, you're feeling at home here. So, we are Connected by Water, presented by Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep.
Oh, you missed it.
I did it again.
You were getting so good. I've seen you on a couple of the recent
I
ones.
can't believe I just fumbled that one. So, Connected by Water, presented by Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And here we are with Paul Robertson and crew. Joey, Kenny, Phil.
You got it.
Right? Awesome.
Pass the test.
From the Fishing for Muscular Dystrophy on the beautiful Everglades vessel powered by Yamaha. We got a tournament coming up.
We do.
And we want to talk about that tournament a lot today.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Always thank you for inviting us to come on. And this whole podcast thing that is crazy.
Yeah.
You've done. I laugh. I think I told you the other night when I saw you, I'm like, I'll be at home. I'm down here most of the time, and I'll go home and for a day or two, and my wife will come home or the kids or whatever, and they'll walk in the living room, and there's Dennis's podcast on the TV. And then I'm texting it to these guys. I'm like, go to 36.2 and listen to this tip. So I think I sent you a picture the other day.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Text me a picture. And it warmed my heart. A lot of times, we put so much time and effort into building this thing, and, hearing the feedback like that really matters and really, really helps us, our morale.
It's cool.
Here.
It's good for rookies like us because we can learn a few things.
Well, the cool thing is about the show is, I think we're bringing on a lot of quality talent, I guess is, one way to describe it. You know, we got not that quality talent. We got you know, especially with the Tournament Talk edition, which I think has been a really, really good thing with Art Sapp and, you know, Skip Dana. That's a really, you talk about knowledge. That's why I brought that up. Like, they're expelling a lot of knowledge on that show. Some things that, you know, I'm surprised that they share. I'm sure they're holding back on a lot of other things, but, you know, there are a lot of things that they're letting loose that I'm kind of surprised about too. So, yeah. I don't know. We're proud of the show.
Yeah, it's
you know,
great.
We're liking where it's heading, and, you know, we feel like it's getting some momentum here. And this is what, episode 40?
This is 40.
Yeah,
Wow.
the big 4-0. So this is our over the hill episode.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So tell me a little bit about yourself over there across the table.
I grew up in Annapolis, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with Paul. This is my 4th season in Florida with these guys.
Cool.
And it's been a ride.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, a lot of fun.
Nice.
I mean, just a learning experience. This is my first job on a boat, and I worked at marinas and everything before, and fished my whole life. And kind of opportunity presented itself, and took advantage of it. I mean, it's unbelievable, unbelievable.
I would imagine that, you know, following this guy around everywhere he goes has got to be kind of like an exciting adventure.
It is.
I mean, I don't know. I was talking the other night at the event that you guys held at Schutz and Bowen, and downtown Miami before the boat show. You guys held a promotional event to raise awareness, like you always do, for muscular dystrophy. They were a gracious host there. It was a beautiful, beautiful night. It really was quite the event. We had a great time, and but, you know, some people were, you know, talking to me about you and so maybe some of the stuff that we've done and maybe the stuff that we're going to be doing in the future. And I said, you know, I haven't known Paul forever, but you're just infectious. And it's a very, very good thing. You know, it's like people just want to be around you.
I appreciate
that
it, but
positive
it's
energy.
Just show up and do your job. That's all
I know.
we try and do. You
But,
know?
You haven't known him forever, but you feel like you have.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, and, you know, it speaks obviously to you, but it also speaks to the entire organization because, you know, it all trickles down, you know, from there. It's like, it's a great thing to see, really. And that's why I texted you the other when we were texting, and I said, well, you're an easy team to get behind, you know, and I mean that, and it's true. So, you know, and I also want to broadcast that out to other people too, just so they know that this is a great organization. So if you're looking for, you know, someone to support or people to support, this is definitely one to follow.
Yeah, and we always talk to, like, we just came down here 4 years ago and we just kind of did our deal. You know, we don't want to go out and wave our flag and, like, you know, pump up our chest everywhere, think we're doing great things. Just go do good things. Be nice to people, you know, make friends, fish hard. You know, we think we fish hard. You know, we've hit some singles down here. You know, trying to hit a double or triple would be nice, but we talk about that all the time. But it's just, you know, it's fun. I mean, we have a good time, you know, and we're doing some good things, and we met a lot of good people.
Yeah, we talk about giving a lot on the show and, you know, what that means and how that makes people feel and how that makes you feel and the whole intrinsic value of that. But I think you really kind of hit the nail on the head right there. Say, just do good things, you know, and make that your life and just make that just how you roll, you know. And you want to introduce yourself over here to the crowd?
Yeah, my name's Kenny, and I've known Paul for a fair amount of time, dozen years or so. We were neighbors and friends, and our children grew up together, attended school together, played sports together. And that's actually how I met Paul. He was my son's football coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we'd be on the field, spend a lot of time on the field, getting to know each other, talking about fishing all the time. At the time, we were raising families and kind of stepped back from it. And then here we are now.
I know how that goes. That's kind of the mode I'm in right now.
And one thing led to another. Paul invited me to be part of it. And I responded, but I don't know how many of these events I can attend. I think I've only missed 1 or 2 in 4 years.
Really?
I have this like ability to just like suck them in.
Right. Right.
There's no getting away.
That's kind of like me today. I'm like, listen, I really can't go fishing today. Well, but I'm gonna go.
You'll probably go.
I'll probably go.
Well, I have some good fortune the way my small company's set up and how tolerant my wife is. So that all helps.
Yeah. No, that certainly does help.
And like I was quoted on the MDA site, the FFMD site, where Paul put this together because people want to do good things and they want to go fishing.
Yep.
So you put them together. That's a really good combination.
I couldn't agree more.
Very clever, very productive.
Awesome. And we got Phil in the corner over here.
How you doing?
Good. You want to say something to the lovely people in the audience there?
Sure. I met Paul about 3 years ago, and it was actually by chance that I got put on his boat. A friend of mine, another one of our team members, had to split people up, and so I got put on Paul's boat, and I've been there ever since. And meeting these guys and Paul putting this team together has been outstanding. It's been a lot of fun. We've had met a lot of people. We've done a lot of good for the communities. It's great to send all these kids to camp with a lot of the things that we do. The kids at camp say that that's their best weekend, or their best week, I should say. But just hope we can keep it going and keep up the spirit and keep on giving.
So I got to tell you a funny story about Phil.
There you go.
Phil, well, we have a lot of stories about Phil. Phil's easy to do stories with. Somehow he ended up here today instead of tomorrow as he was scheduled, but either way he walked in. So when I first met Phil, it was 4 years ago at the Mid-Atlantic, I think, in a tournament up by us right after the White Marlin Open. And so Phil gets on the boat. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. He's like, yeah, I'm fishing for so-and-so, one of our other guys who couldn't go. He said, hey, I'm going to send this other guy in my spot. You're always like, who's coming on here? So he looks at me and he says, the only thing I've never been to the scales. Up at home, you kind of back into the scales. It's a big deal. Here you turn your cards in and all that. So long story short, last day of the tournament, 10 minutes to go, whatever it was, we catch a 53-pound dolphin. And we get it in the boat, and I look back at Phil. I'm like, you're going to the scales. So first time on the boat, he gets to go to the scales, and he hasn't left.
There you go.
He's been hanging around ever since.
Nice.
So it was kind of fun. And that was first time we met, I think, that week. Yeah, so.
Very cool. And I like you got your Stronger Together shirt on today. So awesome. So you mentioned a stat the other night at the event. So FFMD has been around for 4 years.
So to the public, we've been around 4 years from the Jimmie Johnson tournament. So we launched our program to the public at the Jimmie Johnson tournament in 2016.
Right.
So this will be our 5th Jimmie Johnson. Hard to believe, going back thinking of that. But we started 11 months before that was when the whole idea started, and all the groundwork and everything else. Nobody ever saw anything because it was really kept under wraps until we rolled into Key Largo to the Big Chill. I think it was the first day the boat got out. Was there. We literally brand new, put it in the water and fished the tournament. So
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty
Nice.
pretty neat.
And you had mentioned also the other night that to this date, you guys have raised
So
$3 million?
we always talk, fundraising is like two ways to talk about it. You can talk about your gross and your net. We always talk about like, what's our total take, because obviously, when you're doing things like we do a boat raffle and, we got some cost with that, hauling it around and traveling all over the place. But, and then we have our galas, which are a big fundraising. Obviously you got to pay the hotel, you got to pay the food bill and all that. But when we talk about gross, we're over $3 million.
That's
gross.
incredible.
So
That's incredible. And you had mentioned all this, that this all goes to support the kids.
Yeah,
Because you
so-
want to always make it about the kids.
So that's what, MDA came to me and said, I have limb girdle muscular dystrophy. That's the type. And they said, don't you want to do a research grant or a program or because a lot of this money goes back to MDA. And I said, no, I'm about the kids. For me, it's just about the kids. When you go to one of the MDA summer camps, it's really infectious when you go there and you see all these kids. And, I tell a story, I've told it a couple times. and first off, MDA Summer Camp is a program put on by MDA, and somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 kids a summer, depending on how many they have, sign up, go to camp for a week. And that camp is 1-to-1 counselor ratio. It's about 50 camps or so around the country. We went to the one in Opopka, Florida, a couple of years ago down here. They've got them in, all different states and whatnot. Not everyone, but a lot.
Is that like the one in Florida?
No, there's I think there's 3 or 4 in Florida.
Okay.
So in different areas. And so that camp's a week long, and when those kids are at camp, it's no expense to the families. So MDA, has a cost factor. It's about $2,000 per kid to go to camp for a week is what it costs. It's an ADA facility, very high staff to camper ratio, volunteer camp counselors. My daughter was actually a counselor 2 years ago. Would have never done it had we not done this. Would have probably never been exposed to it. And so with that MDA summer camp, that's really kind of what gets my juices flowing, because when like I said, we went in the water in 2016, March, but when I was talking with MDA about putting this together, when we might have had a logo, and that was it at that. Probably didn't even have a logo. It was just an idea. They brought up camp, and I said, well, I don't know anything about it. And I went to my first camp, and I met Tiffany, who was in here with me before.
Shout out to Tiffany,
yeah,
the handler.
She's over in the Bahamas.
She's on the
I know.
cruise in the Bahamas.
I don't know how this worked. We're
Working hard.
Yeah. So, but that's where I met her. She was working for MDA. She was the executive director for the DC region, Maryland, DC, Virginia region, and I met her at camp. And now I joke, I'm like, did you ever think that you were going to leave the MDA, come work for FFMD, and be on a boat and get a hook stuck in your hand and catch a sailfish? So we laugh about that all the time. But that was my first exposure to camp. And, like for me, there's a picture on our Facebook page with a young boy named Sam, and I'm wearing like a red polo shirt, and that's not in our colors. But for whatever reason, that picture resonates and sticks in my mind. And he was like the first kid I met when I started this journey. And he just recently passed away. So like to know that you met one of these campers and then they've passed away from muscular dystrophy, that's pretty challenging, to just think of that. And I remember when I was at that camp a year or two later, my gait's kind of goofy, and I used to tell people, I think I've told you that I had athletic injuries when I was hiding behind the disease and all, but I remember walking into like this, I'll never forget it, like up this little ramp, little small incline, for wheelchairs to go up. And I walked in, and I think I had my cane with me. I'm not even sure. And I walk in, and I look down. There's a bunch of kids with, doing arts and crafts and all that. And I said to this one young girl, I said, hi, how are you? And she said, yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing all right. And she's like, what's wrong with you? And I said, well, I have muscular dystrophy just like you. And she looked up at me. She said, well, at least you're still walking.
Wow.
And like, you just sit there like, what do you say? Like, there's nothing you can do. So camp's got a big special part in us. And, we do the boat raffle. And our biggest fundraisers are our gala that we have in the Baltimore, D.C. market. So we've done $2.1 million in 4 galas. And that's an MDA hosted event that we facilitate. And 100% of those checks get written to the MDA. Right. So they don't flow through our foundation, but we facilitate all of those payments. So when we sell a table for an attendee, or we auctioned off a Corvette this year, we've done all kinds of stuff that we've had there. We auction off trips on our boat, but every single dollar that gets written to that event is written to MDA, facilitated by us.
So that segues me into what I wanted to just bring up now. We bring on a few different organizations onto this show. Every organization that we bring onto this show, we fully believe in, because we know that the money's going to the right place. The people behind it are really doing it for the right reasons, and they have maybe inner reasons that they're doing it, and just it's a believable story. And I can't say that about every organization out there, but the ones that we do bring on this show, I want people to be clear on the fact that they're legitimate and the money is all going to the right place, and is it all being used for the right reasons. I think you guys are I don't want people to ever get the notion that, oh yeah, well, they're just raising money and they're fishing all over the
Well,
place.
we were just talking last night. I had someone
Because
call
it's not how
I had
it is
someone
at
call
all.
me recently, and they're like, "How do you get somebody to pay for you to do all that?" I'm like, "Really?" Like,
Yeah.
No, we've written a lot of checks to do our own stuff, but really, most of that, like, that's our biggest fundraising event is that gala, and that's all, like I said, direct pay to the MDA. When we have some other events that we do that we share with them, and we've got our foundation too. Obviously, you have to have some expenses in there. But I think when I talked to our accountants on our tax form last year, I think it was 81 cents of every dollar that went through our foundation went to the mission. So 19 cents went to overhead and insurance and stuff that you have to have to operate and exist as an organization. So we're not perfect. We're pretty good, at the end of the day, but I know we're making a difference at the end of the day. And I know what we're doing is definitely, helping those kids. And that's really, for me, what it's just been about. It's been about the kids. And I don't know, they warm your heart when you meet them. And when we've got so many that we've had relationships with, and how many, you could probably tell stories. People just come up to the boat. And,
Unbelievable. Every day at Sailfish. Like when I'm doing boat work, there's somebody coming up asking, what's this FFMD thing? And explain the whole backstory. And it kind of blows 90% of the people. They're blown away about the story. And they want to figure out how they can donate and make a difference. It's life-changing.
How about people we've met, like, that have MD or, like, know somebody? It's, like, crazy.
It's unbelievable.
So are you able to bring any kids that have MD on the boat fishing? You guys ever include them into any trips?
We took,
anything like that?
We took one kid, a great kid, Lane is his name, and we put his wheelchair on and ratchet strapped it all in, and he brought his caretaker. He was a caretaker, brought his caretaker with him, and we were a mile and a half off Ocean City. And I'm on the back of the boat, like, with Lane, and talking to him. He's in the wheelchair and all that. I look up and I see his caretaker coming back over the rail. He's green.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, wait a minute, you're getting sick?
Yeah.
I remember that one. Like, this trip might be cut short here. So,
Yeah, that's good stuff.
but
So you mentioned the charities too, the galas and the raising money, and we got the upcoming tournament happening here, and we're hoping that this is going to be the second year, and we're really hoping that this event grows into, a valuable fundraiser as well. So we're hoping to try to make the strides to make all that happen. You guys are down here fishing basically the sailfish circuit. You got the Jamie Bunn's circuit, and then we got the Jimmy Johnson, and is there any other?
We did the Buck Cup.
We did the Buck Cup,
and we're going to do the Pelagic Shamrock tournament.
Okay.
After the Jimmy Johnson, we're going to do that one, and then our tournament, and
That's about it for
I think
down
that's
here.
the tournaments that we have lined up.
Okay, and then you guys are.
We don't know what we're doing in May yet. May's kind
Right.
of like,
I was gonna say-
we don't know where we're going in June, so
Okay.
like it's kind of like we got to find something to do in May.
Right. All right. So you guys generally then for the summer you head up back to Maryland.
We transitioned back
Ocean
to
City,
Maryland
transition.
May,
Okay.
June.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the tournament because your tournament right there is in the smack dab in the middle of that whole transition thing. It's like really the start of meat season, we call it down here, and it's a meat tournament, Muscle Classic, and where's it being held this year?
So we're doing the captain's meeting at 26 degrees again.
Okay.
So that's on Thursday, the 16th of April. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 16th. And then we're doing the weigh-ins again at the, I think it's the 14th Street. It's at Allsdorf. Is that what they call that?
Yep. The boat ramp.
The ramp right there. Yeah. Last year, it was crazy because, we talked about doing a tournament forever, and we were talking with Trey at Big Dog and Katie at Sundance, who's an Everglades dealer. And I think we talked about it for like 6 or 8 months. And then finally, like 7 weeks out, it was like, all right, yeah, we're going to do this. And then we're like, people were like, you're going to do a tournament in 7 weeks? I'm like, well, yeah, we'll figure it out. It was pretty cool. It was good. I mean, we had a good turnout. We had rough weather, so we didn't get a lot of small boats, but like high 20s in the boats, 26, 28, Surreal, those guys, they're really good friends. We've become great friends with all their whole team. They're just all of them.
That's another group that's easy to become friends with too.
They're just we suckered them into dropping about 10,000 gallons of fuel and running to Maryland for the white marlin. That was fun though, but I know you've talked to them about that, but no, them and
Yeah, they want me to go on that one too.
so that's a good one.
Yeah, so I'm
good
trying,
time.
trying to see if I say yes to all these things.
I'm
like,
figuring that
can I
out
really
now.
go? Can I really go?
But no, so then our tournament will be on that Saturday, and then last year we're doing the same thing. We're doing the awards party at Sundance. You know, we work with a lot of the Everglades dealers, and you know, when we first did this, Everglades wasn't the boat of choice for us when we went. And I met with 11 boat companies at the Lauderdale. I kind of walked up cold and said, "Hi, I have muscular dystrophy, and I made a deal with MDA, and I've been boating and fishing, and I'd like to talk to you about buying a boat." It's funny, you know, I felt like a 20-year-old salesman getting rejected.
Yeah.
Hadn't done that in a long time. And Everglades we just landed with, and it was really good for what we do because they have a very strong dealer network. So we're involved with a lot of their dealers around the country. So that helps out too, because then when you go to a new town, you kind of already have a home. And Sundance down here has been really good. And I don't know if you know Katie or not, but
Yep.
yeah, you know, she's been really good to help promote and do different things, you know, for Sundance with us, and we'll do the party there afterwards again. So it should be fun. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to fish with this guy. I know that's a broad statement.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, he doesn't put excessive pressure on you. He wants everyone to try their best, which we do. I mean, we desperately want to win.
Right.
We all have that competitive nature. So we've had a fair amount of success with that approach. So, you know, it makes it fun. It's mainly not a lot of pressure.
What tournament was it? You guys said you guys placed pretty well in a recent tournament. Did you like top non-pro boat or something?
That was in Jamie's, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny that, and then the Buck Cup too.
Buck up, yeah. Second on the daily,
Yeah,
tier 1, I think.
yeah. We were surprised. We didn't know we won that. I literally almost spit my food out when I was eating dinner. I'm like, did they just call our name?
With one fish.
Yeah.
One fish?
Yeah.
One fish.
Yeah. So we fished that second day when
What
a lot
fish
of
was
boats
it?
laid. Sailfish.
Oh, with one sailfish.
Yeah, one sailfish.
Oh, wow. I thought you were talking about like
No,
150
no.
pound king or
No.
something like that.
So when we came down here this year, like I keep preaching. I preach hit singles a lot. Like, let's just keep hitting singles, get to the podium, and we've been to the podium a fair number of times over the last 4 years. You know, a lot of singles. You know, a lot of little stuff. You know, and then we've had some big hits too. And you know, I guess you could say we probably had a couple of home runs. You know, not grand slams, but home runs.
And it's a triple.
Triple.
And but you know, I always preach that, like, just let's hit singles and get to the podium. You know, you know, Phil caught a nice blackfin down in the final sale a couple years ago, and you know, we got to the podium on that. And
If at any given point you want to grab the mic and just, please feel free.
So when we came down here this winter, you know, I always make something call it summer, but this winter, you know, it was like, let's just go win a daily. Like, let's make our goal. Let's try and win a daily, or let's try and place in a daily. That was kind of our goal coming down here. And your goal is always to win everything, but you know, like, let's set our reach goal, and let's set our, you know, what's that? So then we didn't expect it would be a one fish sailfish daily. But, so now we accomplished the goal.
Sometimes that's how it goes.
But you know, we were very fortunate. We fished 2 tournaments so far down here, and you know, we got to the podium on both with, you know, small singles, and you know, we got the challenge this weekend. So might be a challenge with the weather forecast. But
Yeah, it's been rough out.
it's tournaments.
Yeah.
It's beautiful until the tournament, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but
It's nice today, right?
Very nice today.
Yeah, so
You're safe.
just checking.
You don't have to go a week.
Yeah. I don't want my only day off
Yeah.
here to get to be like,
but no, the
get my butt kicked.
So we were fortunate to be able, and like I always say, we get recognition then. So to stand up there and just hold, you know, whether it's a $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 check, and you've hit a single with it, to stand there with our group and to be able to go out online and say, hey, you know, we scored a point, you know, is a big thing. And, you know, we kind of always say, oh, well, you know, we're rookies, and, you we don't know what we're doing, and somebody help us. And we've learned a little bit though. So we came from dead baiting. We're all dead baiters from Maryland, not live baiters.
Yeah,
so.
all the kites and everything here, and it takes
So.
a little bit of a learning curve on it, but I mean,
A lot different.
You're gonna teach us today, right?
no, you're looking for me to teach you anything about fishing. I don't know. It's going to be like the Keystone Cops out there.
But no, it's we've been right there a couple of times too, where we thought we were gonna get dialed in, and it's last. I think Art said on one of the tournament ones, you can win one of these tournaments in an hour and a half. He said, and I think that's what I said.
On
to you
this
guys.
podcast,
Yeah, that's
I
what
said
he
to
said.
these guys,
He's
I'm
like,
like,
all I
go
need
to
is an hour and a half. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
and you could be sitting there and you can be doing really well. And my daughter fished with us in the Buck Cup operation.
It was Operation.
And she was on the board. I think she had 2 or 3 or whatever, and we put her on the short, and she's just intent looking at it the whole time, and saw the fish, hooked the fish, did a great job.
Great job.
And then she got passed over by Sandra and who's the girl
8/8s.
on 8/8s, and
Yeah.
so my daughter comes to me, I don't know, a couple days later. She goes, why can't I just have all the fish? And I'm like, well, you have to wait and get the pocketbook they have, and then you can get those fish.
Yeah.
Because that's their program. You're invited on ours. That's their program, and
I've seen it so many times where guys like Art and Skip Dana, to where it's the last day of a tournament and they might be about 5 fish behind, and all of a sudden you just start seeing them creep up the leaderboard, and I was wondering, like, what is that? So whenever I have them on,
right.
you try to pick their brain about that last day. There's like that hour and a half that you're talking about. All I need is an hour and a half, and those guys are so experienced, especially in these waters, that it could be like a wind switch. Not that they see or mathematically calculate, but that they just feel. And they're like, I felt that before. And when that happened, this is where we go. And like that kind of thing, or this is what we do, or this is how we switch it up.
Yeah, and there's so many, but so many of these are 2-day tournaments, and we talk all the time. So many of the boats, it's really hard to have 2 good days. Mm-hmm. Like we've seen guys go out and catch 7 the first day and none the next.
Yep.
Or vice versa, and it's so you just got to keep grinding. And
yeah.
That's it. Chances are you have 2 decent days in a row, you're going to be
right
place,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And we're still developing as a team because we're all from Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
All our backgrounds are fishing in Maryland. We've been doing this, 4 or 5 years. And that's an added challenge, especially with the competition we're up against down here.
right.
Like the gentleman you just mentioned,
Yep.
Skip and them guys.
Yeah, it's tough fishing, especially if you look at the Jimmie Johnson tournament when they all come out for that one, and it's like you're really fishing on the best field of captains and boats and
Right.
anglers, and
And that boundary's so big this year. It's like
yeah,
you throw a dart, where are you going to
Arguably the best sail fisherman in the world.
go?
yeah, for sure. And you got basically captains who are working as anglers and mates on the boats in that one, and it's a tough one. But you know what? You go out because it's still fishing.
Yep.
And you never know that they could be looking at you more than the other guy on any given day.
And one of the things too that a lot of people I don't think realize, and from my selfish perspective, I'm so thankful for it. We were, Joey's a paid mate on the boat and a great fisherman, and as like he says, we've all learned a lot in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But our whole crew are really volunteer friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they pay their way. They fly themselves down here. We all chip in on lodging, where we're staying, and we chip in to enter the tournament together as a group. Everybody's at a little different, what they can afford to do, and it's just a bunch of guys coming together supporting a good cause. And I mean, it's not like we're showing up with a big paid team,
Right.
at the end of the day. And these guys not only like to fish, but honestly, they're really good. They are or have become good friends of mine, and they put up with Joey and I, like yelling at them. We do yell a little bit once in a while. So
Like I mentioned, fishing with Paul, it's not a lot of pressure. He's, he tells you do your best, but it's a little different with Joey in the cockpit.
Oh yeah, you're the one dropping the hammer.
He's a little more demanding.
I've learned how to control myself. Yeah, it comes with age,
Are you a screamer?
No.
No, we don't scream.
Yeah,
We've done that a little bit before, like early on, but we're not. We're no drama. We really have no drama on the boat. Everybody gets along so well. And,
yeah.
I mean, we've lost. I caught off a nice blue marlin in the. What was that?
It was the Big Fish.
The Big Fish Classic.
Yeah.
After 5 hours, Phil was on 5 hours on a dink rod, about a 400-pound blue marlin, and we tried for 5 hours to get it on the port side, and as soon as it went to the starboard, I turned and had a blind spot, and it was gone. And Brandon, another kid that fishes with us at home, he missed a gaff shot on a tuna, and I remember coming down there, and I just said, "Hey, look, man, it is what it is. I mean, they're not all meant to be caught. It would be too easy,
Right?
But then we came in that same tournament, I think, or the next one, and we caught that 188-pound big eye.
Yep, next tournament.
And got on the podium with that. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a good group. It's a good group.
Yeah.
The only time I hear him yell is like, and I've been a little better this year, but, down here when your cell phone works, a couple of times they'll look up, the kites will be wrapped around the tower or something. And they'll look up and they're like, yeah, he's on his phone again. But I don't think I've been that bad this year with it.
One thing that Paul preaches that I really appreciate is if you aren't having fun, wash your hands and go home, because if you aren't having fun, it isn't going to be a good vibe on the boat.
Why you're out on a boat, right?
And it sheds on your other anglers too. If you have one sour angler, it's going to turn the whole team sour, and that's bad karma.
Yeah,
Bad karma
I've
doesn't
fished on
produce
plenty
fish.
of boats like that. Where
Exactly.
It's just, where I fished on one in particular where it was, the owner's son, and he was a teenager and yelling at everybody all day long, and
Right.
and it's like, first of all, okay, here I am getting yelled at by a kid, right, for no reason whatsoever.
We're gonna yell at him today.
Other than that,
Get ready.
I think he's just excited, and then I've again talked to Art and Skip about this, and those guys are as cool as it gets on the boat,
Right.
and we were all kind of in agreement that there's no benefit to making an angler like tense or nervous. You're gonna miss fish that way.
You're going to mess up.
Yeah, so there's no benefit to it whatsoever.
Just keep it cool, and I approach the tournament days like another fishing day. Just ready.
Yeah,
Got to be ready.
nice. So you're born and raised in Maryland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. These guys really got me into offshore fishing. I mainly fished on the bay and fished different tournaments on the Chesapeake Bay.
Like stripers and
stripers.
stuff like that? Yeah.
And pretty funny story. One year I was doing really well with me and a group of friends of mine. We're on the podium every single tournament, and Paul was like, "Hey, you need to come out fishing with us." And later on in that year, so that was around November, he reached out to me and was like, "Would you like to come down to Florida with us? We need a video guy." And
I think I said, if I remember right, I think I said, because I think you were still doing some part. You had been in school a little bit, I'm sure, and I'm like, "Are you going to school this whatever spring semester or whatever?" And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "You want to go fishing in Florida all winter?" Because I wasn't going to take him out of school. I wasn't going to be there because I knew his answer.
he handed me the video camera for a tournament, and after that tournament, he said, "Put that video camera down. You need a rod in your hand."
Nice.
And after that, I mean,
But that video is so important too.
It really
it's
is.
very
Sometimes
important.
when people get on the boat, and Tiffany's one of our video people. We've taught her, and Phil, you do some of that too, because you and Mike are usually switching off on the bow and all most of the time. But people feel neglected if you put them on the camera. But
That's not a neglectful position at all.
no, it's funny when we initialized, we were on 4 cameras.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of camera work just because everyone's like, "Oh, the creative guy, give him the camera."
Yeah, right. We have two handhelds, and then Joey wears one on his head, and I wear one on my head upstairs, a GoPro. And I'll always holler down at 5 minutes to 5. I'll holler at Phil. I'm like, are you initializing the cameras? He's like, got it. I'm like, did you get the date and time? Got it. I'm like, is the chip in? Got it. Now they just yell at me. I don't even think they yell. They don't even respond. But I'm always like going through my checklist, like, all right, are the cameras good? You know, is this good? Is that good? But yeah, that camera is, you know, I'll have one call. Jamie called me last year in one tournament. I remember he called me and he said, hey, I just want to give you a heads up. Whoever's on your primary camera zoomed in, and you had a fish that was really, really close. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, did it count? And he's like, we were able to count it. He said, but you were like a frame or two away from not being able to count it. And he said, just so make sure you're zoomed out.
Too zoomed in,
And I don't know if somebody hit the button or, you know, whatever. Yeah. But you can do that and not even realize it. You know, running around the boat, you know, anglers running around or whatever. And
you know, guys like that, guys like Jamie and you know, Brick on the other tournaments and stuff, like they know what they're looking for. So it's best to just
they don't want to DQ you. They just want to validate.
Yeah, they know what they're looking at. Right. So if you get a wide view on that, they'll know whether or not you touch that leader.
But that's the whole thing is, you know, that camera roll is so important. And so many people, I think, when they come on the boat, and, you know, everybody down here, everybody, you know, wants to come and fish from Maryland. They're like, hey, I'll have to come fish a tournament. And like, you know, some of the guys are really good anglers that we know and have fished a lot, but we have other people that have hardly ever fished, and they just want to be part of it. But, you know, you don't only get so many shots, you know, and you got to come pre-fish, and you got to fun fish. You can't just show up on tournament day. We put, we're going to fish the next 5 days getting ready, or, you know, into the challenge to be ready. And it's hard to just come in the night before and just say, all right, now I'm here, and you haven't caught a sailfish in 2 years or something, you know, and people want to do that. But
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You know, I know me personally, I basically stopped tournament fishing. You know, I'll do one here and there, probably mostly like meet tournaments and stuff like that, just because so busy here at the studio and so much going on. I know what it takes to really do the sailfish season right, and I just didn't have the time, you know, because I had to choose the business over tournament fishing in the state that it was in. But it does take a lot of dedication and a lot of time and a lot of just, you know, feeling the environment and, you know, understanding, you know, the current of how the week is going. And, there's a lot goes into it. That's for sure. And sail fishing is so much different than, you know, the meat season, to where, you know, it's such a game of strategy and, you know,
I can't tell you how many times I'll call Joey
keeping your
Kenny.
mind about you.
I'll
You
call
hear
one of
other
these-
fish being caught in different places.
I'll call one of these guys
move.
up, like, because I'm upstairs running the boat. I'll call one, and I'm like, what do you think? And it's funny, now we kind of have this running thing, like, if we're not getting bit, we'll go up and just talk about it, because then usually, all right, we're going to move, and then boom, we get bit.
Yeah.
It's weird how that happens. I'm like, all right, we're not leaving now.
Such a game of patience. And we talked, again, we brought up Skip and Art 1,000 times on this podcast, but it's so hard to maintain your own analysis when you're hearing fish being caught in other places.
Yeah.
Because you start second guessing yourself.
And you know, our friend network, if you want to call it that, down here has grown so much that, you know, now
it's helpful.
We get some intel. You know, the first couple of years, you didn't get any. It's like, you know, what do you think? Well, go on out and put your kites up. You know, now it's like, hey, you know, they were up at this line or that line, and
you guys
they've been
got
here
any current
yesterday,
up there.
or so and so's down here. We've gotten that, and I think we've just earned it by being who we are.
Sure.
I mean, we didn't, you know.
You do earn that.
Yeah.
That network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
you earn
once
it
you
by
get
being
in-
a good person too.
Yeah, and then I think that you know, that's helped us too. You know, we've gotten an opportunity to just make a lot of really good friends, and they've helped us. I mean, you know, we've had good days and bad days. That's part of it.
That's it.
Catching fish. So.
Definitely a part of it.
Yeah. But back to our tournament, because I know that's what we want to focus a little bit of time on today. So
Sure.
So we threw that tournament together. We were talking earlier, like 7 weeks last year. This year we've had a little more time to plan. Although I still feel like we're behind, but that's normal for us. You know, we're kind of
think events
we
are
also
just
call
like that,
ourselves
right?
a fourth quarter team. Like we like to get on the field in the fourth quarter. But it's going to be really cool. We've got another young fella from Destin who has muscular dystrophy, and we met him at the Mississippi Billfish Classic maybe 3 years ago, I guess, and had talked to him on Facebook and back and forth and all this stuff. And then he came out last year and fished the challenge, I think.
It was the Buck Cup.
It was,
He fished the Buck Cup with us.
He
last
fished
year.
the Buck Cup.
Yep.
Yeah, so he came from Destin and fished with us. And then last year we were talking to him, and I forgot something happened in August, or I guess it was late July. I called him and I said, hey, I was talking to the team, and we'd like to do something for you. And he's like, well, what's that? And I said, we were in Destin at the rendezvous for Everglades, and we saw him down there. And then I wanted to say something, I wasn't sure, so I left, and we went back to Maryland. And I talked to the team a little bit, and I called. His name's Andrew. I called Andrew, and I said, hey, the team wants to fly you up for either the White Marlin Open or the Mid-Atlantic to fish with us. And he's got muscular dystrophy. So he came up and he fished, and he was on his way to be a charter captain himself, and then he has the same muscular dystrophy that I have.
The limb girdle.
The limb girdle. And then it took its toll on him where he was unable to do that full time. But he came up. So, anyhow, it's pretty cool. He's trailering a boat from Destin with his buddies down here to fish this tournament.
Really?
Yeah, so that's where I was going with all
that's
that.
cool.
So he's coming from there, and then there's we've got a kid named Cooper who we met in Mississippi who fishes a lot, and we've posted some pictures of him on there, redheaded kid. He's coming with his grandfather, because in our tournament, we just take kids out, fun fish, our tournament that we're hosting. So we've got him coming on board, and then we've got another girl from Maryland who's coming down, and then we're going to have a local South Florida MDA kid. So we'll have 3 kids on the boat for our tournament, which
Outstanding.
which is good. We had 2, I think.
Is that
had
Courtney? Is the girl
Yeah,
Courtney?
Courtney's coming down with her dad. Yeah, so Courtney's like one of our. I mean, we have so many fans, but like a super fan. She's at every event.
She was an MDA ambassador, I think.
She was for the whole state of Maryland. She was, and she's just really good. So we've talked about getting her out. So I was talking to her dad, and I said, we'd really like Courtney to go and come to this tournament, and then we'll have, like I say, a local kid. So we'll probably have 3 kids, and I think last year we had maybe about 8 to 10 kids at the awards and the captain's meeting.
I'd say 10.
Yeah, 10.
Had a
10
decent group of
kids.
kids.
That's
that were
great.
there.
I bet they get a lot out of that too.
It's cool, and like we always give them shirts and hats, and the whole family, we outfit them, and I get probably 200 families a year reach out to me. Not quite one a day, but maybe one every, 5 a week, something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Will reach out to me, and it's neat. I mean, we send a lot of like shirts and hats and goodwill stuff to people, and try and get them engaged and let them know we're thinking about them. And a lot of times we'll get them. They'll send us pictures of little fish they caught or whatever, and we'll post those and put them online too. And remember you were catching bass with them at summer camp.
Yeah.
So
I want to put the good word about the registration for this tournament. So maybe if we can kind of flash something up here on the screen at the moment. And also just let people know how to register. If you go to, I want to say this for the people that are not viewing and just listening. What's the website that people can go to?
MDAmuscleclassic.com, I think.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
And you can find the full rules there and registration.
Yep, you can register there at that site.
MDAmuscleclassic.com.
Right.
The captain's meeting is April 16th, and the tournament is being held on April 18th. I know down here that is really, like we said before, the start of meet season for us down here. And there's a few other tournaments that people generally do every year. Include this one into your fold of tournaments. It's a fun day, and it really, really goes again, to the best cause.
We got great reception from the people who fished it. And I know we had, Michelle, Pelagic Girl, Bombshell. She fished it with, I don't know if Kelly was with her. I can't remember one of
Mark
them.
Daddario on there. Too?
Mark
was on
Mark
there.
fished it, and they had a really nice time. They came, and we've engaged with them a little bit more, the Pelagic group and all that since then, and so that they've approached it. And we had the I always get this wrong, Offshore Pompano.
The offshore anglers.
Offshore
of Pompano
anglers.
Beach, yep.
Yeah, I always get their acronym mixed up, but they had 11 boats in it last year, and Sean has said that he thinks they'll get more. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to I'll be at their meeting March. I think it's the 16th, that Monday, to talk about the tournament to all their members.
Okay.
So, and,
Have we mentioned that it's actually in Pompano? Because you've made all these references to landmarks, but haven't really-
yeah. So it's at 26
It's
degrees.
26 degrees
is in
brewery is the
Pompano.
captains and the award ceremony as well too.
That's
right?
at Sundance.
That's
Marine.
going to be at Sundance.
It's
this year.
Sundance
Okay.
again. Yeah, we have the big tent in the parking lot, and
Okay.
it'll be there. And I mean, we're hoping this year. We had I think it was 27 or so boats last year.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get a lot of small ones because, of course, tournament it blew and it was rough.
Yeah.
But I think the running thought is we're going to get at least 50 boats this year. That's kind of what we're all hoping for.
Yeah, it's a good goal for year
So,
two.
yeah,
I'd love to
yeah.
get this up to 100 boats.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
And it just depends. I know there's a SKA tournament up in Fort Pierce that a couple of the guys from the Pompano group are in. And Trey at Big Dog has been a huge supporter and promoter of what we're doing along with Sundance, and that's been really good. And he's involved in a lot of stuff. His group there. So we've been very fortunate to have him behind what we're doing as well. And it's just fun. It's let your hair down. It's a fun tournament.
That's it.
And the coolest thing in the world, though, and I think we talked about this the last time Tiffany and I were here, was. And did you meet Isabel the other night? She was at the
I
the
did.
event. Mm-hmm. So she drew 2 years ago. She drew the winning ticket for the boat raffle at Fort Lauderdale. And last year, her family came and they heard about the tournament. They saw it on the MDA South Florida website. And they said, we'll fish it, and they're not tournament fishers. I don't think they've ever fished. They haven't. They've never fished a tournament. And so they go out and they fish this tournament, and he calls his buddies, and he's like, hey, I'm fishing this tournament. Can you guys hop on the boat and help me, or whatever it may be? It's for muscular dystrophy. My daughter has MD, blah, blah, blah. And they won.
Yeah.
They won the freaking tournament.
That's awesome.
It's like you got D.Friel, you got Captain Mark, you got, these guys from the Pompano Club, and Eric comes in here and wins the
Never
tournament.
fished a tournament before.
Never fished a tournament and won. So I was kidding him because they came to the event in Miami we had. I'm like, you're defending champ. You got to show up.
Yeah. Are they going to fish it again?
They're going to fish it
There
again.
you go.
He said he's getting the boat all cleaned up this year.
You all cleaned up.
So I told him he'll never get ahead. He's ahead for the last time in tournament fishing.
That's it. That's it. Maybe they shouldn't enter this year.
No, we want him there.
So we got first, second, and third place divisions. We got female angler divisions. You got junior youth angler divisions. Big dolphin, big king, big fish overall. Fill the huck bucket. Small boat. It's a pretty good chances to win a lot of things here.
The huck bucket, Surreal won that, didn't they? I think they did last
They
year.
definitely did.
So the huck bucket was kind of born out of a Calcutta from the Chesapeake Bay that a friend of ours did in a rockfish tournament, where he would fill the bucket with as many fish as you could and then weigh the bucket. And Joe, who owns Huck Bucket, I don't know if you've seen their buckets. They've been getting more.
Yep, no,
they've been doing
Joe.
more and
Yep.
more, and so forth, and out in the tournaments. And he's from Maryland, right outside Ocean City.
Oh, is he? I
So
didn't know
that's
that.
where we met him. And so we came up with this idea to do Fill the Huck Bucket. So basically, it's you bring in as many qualifying fish, blackfin, king, dolphin,
Cobia.
wahoo, and cobia. Those are the 5 fish. And however you put them in the bucket with no assistance, then we weigh the bucket.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. People were getting, jazzed, and they were excited because, first people come in, they just stuff their fish in.
Right.
And then other people come in, and then they're putting them like crisscross, and then they're putting them tail first, they're putting them head first. They're, some are that way, some are the other way.
Right. Some
And
like
then,
this and this.
and then it's the heaviest bucket wins. And I think Surreal came in, and they put them all tail up and then they started stacking like in between them, crisscross. And somebody's like, "Well, that's not in the bucket." It's like, "Hey, it's on the bucket."
Right. It's all in the bucket.
So, but that was kind of a really fun, engaging. Like a lot of people hung around. I think the sheriff came down and he's like, "You guys are like triple wide up against the dock tied or the bulkhead tied up here."
Yeah.
And everybody was hanging out watching people weigh. So it's just kind of a fun Calcutta.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's good. Yeah, it's a good party,
and
good time.
I think we raised the small boat. Is it 28 feet? Because we're trying to get some of these family boats, because we want to make this a family thing too.
I broke my glasses at the boat show.
I think it's
That's
20
right in half.
I think it was 26
I can't
feet.
read any of
and
this
this
stuff.
year it's 28 and under. So we're trying.
Okay.
I think it's 28. So we're trying to encourage some people with small boats to have an opportunity to get in a little category themselves. And I think Jimmie kind of does that with a challenge too. You know, like, and of course it's going to be such big seas and weather this weekend maybe that he might not get a lot of those. But it's nice to have a category where people can come and not feel threatened by the the guys that are fishing tournaments every weekend.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, that if you're not having fun, you might as well just wash your hands and go home. I mean, come out and have a good time.
Yeah.
You really, ultimately, it's a great day, and a lot of nice family boats are involved, and everyone out there is really just there to have a good time. I mean, and, yeah, sure, it's all for a great cause and, raising money and raising awareness and, you can get behind that and feel good about your day and, say, hey, we came out, we had a good time. We supported, FFMD and the MDA and it's all good, really, and I think that's the way people got to look at it, come out and support the organization, have a great day fishing.
Yep.
And
we're building the brand. I mean, I always say there's two things we try and do, and that's increase awareness for muscular dystrophy and ultimately raise funds to help those affected with neuromuscular disease.
Right.
I mean, that's the two, that's the two scoring points when it comes to the mission. And now obviously we want to win too. So
yeah,
like Kenny said, I mean, we're all very competitive. I mean, believe me, it gets a little quiet towards that last hour.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, we should have gone here. We should have, but nobody really.
It's fishing.
Nobody really second guesses. I mean, we're all there together, and it's good. It's good stuff.
Right. It's not a day in the office, that's for sure.
So, but yeah, there's some cool pictures on there of last year, and there's stuff on Facebook, and you did the shirts. We're wearing the shirts.
Yep. We designed the shirts.
Yeah.
We designed all your artwork for that tournament. We're proud to do so.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
It all
And
it's awesome.
And that's all part of the brand, and that's all part of supporting the organization, and we're proud to support you guys for sure. I mean, we love bringing you guys on the show, try to promote the event. We just love being friends with you guys. You guys are easy to be friends with, and then we're proud to help you out with the artwork and try to make you guys look good.
Yeah.
Build a good brand for the tournament, and then hopefully people come out and support it, and
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I tell you, it was funny because like Jimmie came to the captain's meeting, and I think I called Jimmie. Yeah, I called Jimmie when we were first doing this, and I said, hey, look, and everybody's been so good to us. I mean, the Jimmy Johnson guys, or Valerie and Todd, and Courtney at the Buck Cup. This was our second year doing that, and she's been great. And Jimmie, we've done now 15 tournaments or maybe more, something
More
like
than
that,
that
with him. And I'm like, I don't want these guys to think we're trying to get into their space. I was really worried about that. So, I called Jimmie and I said, hey, we're going to do this tournament. I'm not trying to come down there and like get into what you're doing. I don't want you to think that. And he was super positive, really receptive, actually announced our tournament at his tournament. Maybe there's a final sale. I can't remember, one of them, wherever it was. And, so he came to the captain's meeting, which was cool. He came and Mandy came and he said, I just want to stop by and support you and, all this, say hi. And so then he left. And then 20 minutes later, I saw him come back. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought you left. He's like, I can't leave. This is like a really good time.
Yeah, nice.
And then literally he left again and he came back again. And I think he was one of the last ones there. So it was a fun,
I love hearing that. That's truly, really what the Connected by Water spirit is all about, or if there is such a thing, or the whole theory behind it. And this whole tournament and you guys coming down to Florida and just maybe feeling like you've been embraced by that community, and, and that I feel the community totally embraces you guys.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
And that's what Connected by Water to me is all about. We're bringing ourselves together in the common bond that we all have this passion for being on the water, whether it be fishing or just being around the whole marina environment or just the beach environment, that entire community, and the people and the culture behind it all, and the FFMD definitely falls within that Connected by Water spirit, that Connected by Water theory and ideal, because that's really what it's all about. And when we named it Connected by Water, it was with that mindset. Now a community can pull together and share that common bond that transcends politics or race or religion or whatever like that. It's just really just kind of washes everything away and says, "This is what's bringing us together," and it feels good because we all love it.
Yeah, no, it's good. You've done a great job with it. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I just thank you, but I didn't bring it up for that, but I just wanted to just say this is one of the reasons why I love your organization so much, because it completely falls in that fold, and it's a perfect example of one of our goals on the show. One of our goals as a company is just that, in a nutshell. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's good. Good,
Yeah.
Definitely.
good to be here. Definitely.
So
yeah.
I want to give some shout outs to some of your sponsors, primarily Everglades Boats. And, I wore my Yamaha shirt today to support for Yamaha.
Yep.
I know all the guys at Yamaha really do you right, and especially Brad,
Brad's great.
which we love Brad on this show.
Yeah.
Brad's a good friend. He's a friend of the
I
program.
I watched him with Craig on your podcast. I watched that one too.
Yeah.
And actually, Craig was going to come to our event. I don't think I saw him there though. I don't think so.
He wasn't at the event. He was at the boat show, but I know I saw Craig at the boat show, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so tired." He works so hard. He does so many events, and he's so many days away from his family.
Right.
Brad too, so many days away from his family because they're all traveling all over the place.
They run really hard.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the guys like that, they stay grounded in the fact of they're always got their head in the right place. With the support that they give, the organizations like this and the organizations
And
like
Everglades has
Freedom
been
Fighters.
so good too. They don't, they're not really a tournament driven market. That's not their market. They really push hard on.
Okay.
They're more of like the crossover luxury fishing,
Mm-hmm.
not to say the other boats aren't luxury. I don't mean it that way, but that's kind of like where they go. Whereas a lot of these other center console, they're really pushing hardcore fishermen, for lack of a better word. And Everglades has been, like I said, so good to us, and we love the boat. I mean, the boat rides unbelievably well, and takes the seas. We're on our second one right now, and excited for
It's a great boat.
excited for something that might be coming down the road. So we'll have to pull the curtain back again another time. But and David Brown, their head engineer, the other day, he's like, "I got something in the works for you." So I heard something about maybe an elevator to help me get up.
Really?
Instead of
Up to the tower?
yeah, I'm a shoulder and a bucket, and a huck bucket, huck bucket and a shoulder, and a push and a shove and a lift and a
Yeah.
But because I mostly go up there most of the time.
Yeah.
I
Every
call it
tournament.
my other office, and very seldom am I not. There's a couple of days I was like, I don't know, I'm a little black and blue. But for the most part, up there. And what was the one that we just got rained on so bad?
That was, I think we were fun fishing.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
I was
He was pushing to go up, and I was like, man, it's pouring down rain. Do you want to suit up?
Not today. Yeah.
But these guys are great, and Everglades has been just we joke how, like, when we travel north and south, we always stop by the factory, and I think, Kenny, you said it's like they have a SWAT team that just gets on the boat. We're not even like in park in the facility there off 95, and they've got people in the boat and changing pumps and just making sure that everything's right. And we're really their only pro staff, if you want to think of it that way. They don't. We're the only. They build over 300 boats a year, and we're the only ones that they do any kind of promotion with. So it's kind of cool to be the only guy too.
Yeah.
But it puts the microscope on you a lot harder as well. And that old saying, I always tell them, if we're not doing something you like, you got to raise your hand, because we don't know. And I always tell that there's not a decision. I tell this to Everglades. We think about all of our sponsors in our decision making process of things that we do, but there's not a decision that we make, or that I go through and I evaluate, that doesn't take into account the MDA and Everglades. And like Yamaha's, we think about them too, but it may be 99%. But every single thing, like, what is this going to look like for them? How is it?
Right.
Gonna, how is it going to impact them? Positive, negative? Is this good? Is this bad? you're going to make a post and you're like, I don't know if I should post this or not, then
Right.
don't do it.
Yeah.
Just when you think like,
It's like driving. When in doubt, don't.
Exactly,
Like if you're about to go,
exactly.
yeah. If you're
But-
doubting it at all, just stay put.
And then their dealer network, like I said, they have a strong dealer network in Florida, but they've got dealers elsewhere and,
Yeah.
in Maryland and, Carolinas and the
Yeah,
Gulf
you got to be a
Coast.
responsible steward for your sponsors. I mean, there's no doubt, especially the ones that support you the most. You know what I mean? And I can relate too, because Joey Cardi really sponsors, presents this show and really helps us out a lot. And anything we've ever needed or wanted from him, he's always been there. But you want to reciprocate that too. So I always try to communicate with him too. Like, hey, listen, if there's something that we're not saying or doing, you got to let me
Right.
know. I mean, because we're here for you. We
The one
appreciate
thing I
support.
tell, and I just had a call the other day from another team that's trying to figure out how to get some sponsorships and all that. And one of the things that I tell people is don't focus on like the stuff or the money or anything else. Just focus on like, what do they want? And that would be kind of one of my I think I'm getting ready to write a book, by the way. I don't know if I told these guys.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I actually just got published in one book for a chapter, and now my son was like, Dad, you think you got all this? You should write a book. I'm like,
Was it like a motivational book or?
Yeah, it was a book about business. So,
Okay.
and I talk about FFMD in the chapter. It's called Finding Your Edge, the book now. But I have a lot of like sayings or what's the word, slogans or is it euphemisms or whatever it is that I believe in, that I take back a lot to business a lot. And that's what a lot of people don't know about me is, I've got a 26 or 7-year-old business that is a very mature business that I turned over to my employees to run to allow me to do this. And they've been fantastic. But I think that I was talking to this guy about sponsorships. Like the biggest thing is don't focus on like the end game. Focus on like what's good for the two parties. Like, what do you need help with? This is what we need, how can I help you if it's build your brand or if you want to get into a new market or you want to, geography wise, be over here. Focus on that. Everything else will fix it, take care of itself. Like don't, like a lot of people come, well, what's the menu? Do you have a gold? Do you have a bronze? And it's like, that's kind of where you usually start when you think about a business. It's like you put these tiers together and kind of got away from that. It's more now, like Yamaha, was a big promoter with us on our raffle boat, and we didn't even know we were going to do a raffle boat. Now we've given away 3 boats and we've raised over $750,000 selling tickets on 3 raffle boats. And we're getting ready to do a 4th one. And, Everglades gets a lot.
Where's the 4th one getting? You guys didn't raffle off one at the Miami show, did you?
We did it at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show.
Fort Lauderdale.
I think we're going to do it at our gala in November this year.
Okay.
Well, it might be December. So Tiffany has like 4 dates for the gala, and she keeps pressing me on them.
Okay.
I'm like, we'll talk about that tomorrow. She's like, you don't understand. Like, we're out of time. But I think we might do our gala December 4th. And last year we did a Cirque theme where we had like Cirque du Soleil performers, and before that we had done like athletes and matched the athletes with kids, and it was pretty cool. People were pretty jazzed about it, and all the decor that we had and the performers, and so now we might do a big Winter Wonderland theme up in Maryland, and
cool.
like Curtis and Mark on Surreal came last year, and
Yeah.
trying to think.
Yeah, I know we couldn't make it last year. We had something else going on. We definitely want to make it this year.
It's really cool. We had about 400 people. I mean, you guys.
I like when you draw for the raffle at the gala. It's a much bigger audience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We just, one year somebody will win it at the gala. We've given away 3 boats, and when you do a boat raffle, and you've seen this stuff, you get social media haters, and I stopped even like, I used to engage with them and try and
Social
justify
media is such
myself.
a tough thing.
And they're like, these things are always fixed. Well, we have 3 guys that won the boat. Never knew any of them. I think one of the dealers knew one, the guy, Arthur in
Right.
New Orleans. I think it was in New Orleans.
Yep.
And but it's funny, like a lot of our people that we know support us and buy raffle tickets. One day, somebody we know is going to win.
It's probably inevitable, but I will say this. I mean, that doesn't benefit you at all.
No.
You know what I mean? If anything, it wouldn't, like, perception would hurt you.
Yeah.
you
So
know,
right now
but
we
it's
have
gonna happen.
3 winners, and well, just like Jamie used to raffle a boat off, and he knew a bunch of people that bought tickets. I talked with him a little bit when he used to raffle off a boat as well. But for us, it's I don't know. I think we had aspirations we were going to do more inshore fishing with it, and we did the first year.
Yep.
And I think last year we put like 3 hours on it for like 4 photo shoots, and that was it.
That was it.
So, but that's where, what I'm rambling, I know, but when we started,
You're on a podcast.
That's cool. It's cool. These guys can jump in and take over.
It's
at any
all
point in
good.
time. When we started,
Yeah, feel free to interrupt them anytime.
when we started this whole thing, we wanted to find someone with muscular dystrophy who was passionate about bass fishing and do a freshwater bass team, FFMD team, and then have an inshore team and have somebody that did that as well.
Right.
And you lost your headset there.
Yeah, I did. We're back.
We probably went in free spool when we shut down
Technical
or something.
But that's exactly what happened. We're in free school.
And then the whole idea was to do an inshore team, and fish we were going to do the tarpon tournament over at Boca Grande and some of the redfish stuff up on the Gulf, and that's kind of how that raffle boat really started. It was like, hey, why don't we build an inshore boat and raffle it off? And it was kind of a joint thing with us and Everglades. And the idea was we were going to go do all these tournaments. Well, we didn't realize how busy we really were. And then we never found that inshore person to go do that, that had muscular dystrophy. But then it just kind of turned into the raffle. And
Right.
Yeah. So you're driving the little inshore boat around?
What's that?
You were talking about before you were driving around a little inshore boat or for like what?
Photo shoots and
Just photo
we
shoots.
took it up.
You
in
guys never
Everglades
really
one
got to
day.
fish on it?
We took it in Everglades, fished flamingo and
Yeah.
a little backcountry, but
How you like fishing flamingo?
I've only done it
As
2 or
an
3
inshore
times.
bay guy that starts out, how does that compare with
That's not my forte. I like going to inlets and bridges and
Okay.
swinging jigs. That's
Gotcha.
I don't get me wrong, it's fun. I love all types of fishing, but
Yeah.
Snook,
I like
Snook Master.
Yeah,
or-
Joey
Oh,
does.
yeah?
Joey does
Tarpon.
very well.
Snook and
Love it.
tarpon, huh?
love it.
You got a lot of stuff. I've caught a lot of snook down there in Flamingo. It's a little
Yeah.
bit different of an environment.
It's a
to
lot
do so,
different.
but-
You're throwing live shrimp and on small jig heads and a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But you get me up in the inlets
Oh,
around here.
That's funny. Snook Master. This guy over here in the corner's got the same nickname that I give him.
Oh yeah, no
He hates
kidding.
when I say that.
Yeah,
So
Joey logs like 200 fish a year, big snook and tarpon
Oh, yeah?
off
Yeah.
the bridges and jetties. And
So you're getting to do a lot of that fishing down here?
yes.
There
That's
you go.
when
Yeah,
I'm down
why
here.
don't you tell them about your schedule down here?
Tell me.
So when we're in the Keys, the years before this time of year would be in the Keys, and the tarpon fishery down there is unbelievable.
Yep.
And most
Sure
people
is.
don't realize it. And
That's a good thing.
I would get off the boat around 4, make sure everything's clean, fill myself up with some food, take a shower, and go fish till 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Go to bed, wake up, get on the boat, go fish, hop off, go back out at night,
sailfish during the day.
fish during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And
We had to make a new rule. What was
so
the new rule, Joe?
the rule is when it's tournament time, I
Right.
got to get my sleep. But
That's a good rule.
I love it. I
It's a
mean,
fair rule.
Up here, this year it's a little bit different. We're up here, so I get to focus on snook, and I love snook fishing. I mean, the fishery is unbelievable. I catch myself going a lot later than what I should be.
Aren't
Well, you guys are staying up in the Singer Island area.
Correct.
There's good snook fishing up that way.
I tend to drive. Well, I'll fish in about a 70-mile radius. So sometimes I'm up in Sebastian Inlet,
Yep.
and sometimes I'm at Port Everglades. It's wherever I can find a
I know a
bite.
lot of times.
So,
we got St.
so I
Lucie
just
and
want to
what's
know
good, too.
who has the biggest snook this year.
So I had a guest fly in
A
this
guest.
past weekend. My
I
girlfriend.
suspect you know the answer. I know already.
My girlfriend flew in. Never,
I just wanted to admit this on air.
never seen a snook in her life. Never caught one. And we're fishing a bridge that I love to stop by, and she got bit. Started screaming my name, and I went up. Got the fish on the surface, and it was one of the biggest snook I've ever
That
seen.
is a nice looking snook. We're gonna. There it is, right there. We're gonna flash that up there.
It's a
To
43
make sure John
incher.
gets that photo.
That's a 43-inch snook on a jig, and she never snook fish in her
Started
life.
screaming your name, huh?
Screamed my name. I walked up and I looked down and I started
All it took
tearing
was a
up.
snook.
Yeah, I looked down and my knees got weak. I had to drop net it, and that was a whole fiasco
Wow.
off the bridge. But I I brought it up and I looked at her and I said, well, you might as well wash your hands and go sit in the truck because you ain't going to break that one. I've been fishing a couple of years.
Right on the ground. I'm like, I've been coming out here
4
for
years
4
later,
years.
his girlfriend's got to come down here and beat him.
Yeah.
First night.
You know, it's all good. It's a fish of a lifetime.
That's how it goes.
It's a life-changing fish.
No, for sure. And just
100%.
like the folks that never fish tournaments in 1 year. I mean,
Exactly.
And this is what we're getting at too. Like you talking about all the art saps and the skip danas, and you know, it could be your day,
Yep.
right?
You just got to be out there.
I'm
to
giving
swing
you
a
guys
bat.
hope for the
Just-
challenge.
You just got to grind it
it.
every day and go out and do a good job.
Yeah.
You get the right pitch. You got to hit the ball.
That's a nice snook.
Yeah,
for
that-
sure.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it when I
Yeah.
saw that thing on the surface. And the way fishing's been treating me recently, it has been great. I mean, I jump a tarpon, like one tarpon a night, and
Right.
I look at that and I'm like, it's
Yeah,
not that
well.
great. And then she comes down and catches the biggest snook I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, how old are you now?
I'm 23.
23.
Man, to be 23.
You got a
and
lot
know
of
what I
fishing
do
ahead
now.
of you. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about fishing not being good to you right now.
Hey,
You
it is
got a
what
whole
it is.
lifetime of fishing to be good to you. ahead of you.
I never forget we were down in the Keys at Ziggy Mad Dog eating my favorite
23.
restaurant in the entire country. I don't know why, I love it. And I remember we were down there like 4 years ago, and I'm like,
Yep.
you know, you gonna have a glass of wine? You want a beer? And he's like, no, I'm not 21. I'm like, what? I forgot that. And now here we are. So
Yeah. The time flies when you're having
To
fun.
be 23.
I know. I have a 23-year-old son, and well, you'll be 24 soon, I guess.
June.
And because Joey's like a year, older than him, and I always tell him, all the stuff I'm telling you, it's not because I don't want you to have a good time. I want you to screw up plenty, and fall on
Right.
your face a little bit. But the things I am telling you, just don't do those. I've already done those.
Yeah.
but no, to be
Yeah, listen, there's only a few things at that age that I would really give advice on. Basically, it's like, one's, don't accidentally something happen with a girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try not to.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's okay if that happens.
just
but
go fishing instead all night.
yeah, just go fishing.
just go
instead,
fish.
have her scream your name that way. And then, don't mess up your credit, and
Yeah.
that can always be repaired. And
Yeah.
don't ever drink and drive, because that can really affect not
Big
only
time.
you and a lot of people. It's really other than that, it's your journey to have. So
Yeah. One thing like about me personally is I'm not much in the party environment.
it's good.
I'd rather just keep my head down, work, get the job done. I mean, one thing I believe in is do what you truly love, because you'll reflect the best. I mean, you can see it on the boat right now. You can go down there and not see a single water spot on it. I love what I do, and
that's good.
I will work till midnight if I have to get it done. I mean, it's just something that it's a passion.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome. Just
I think about
associate
it.
yourself with good people.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
I know you
these
are
guys
right
right
now.
here, it's
This is a
unbelievable.
good group to be
We
associated
always feel
with.
like we're giving them like life lessons.
Yeah, listen, son.
My wife and Kenny's wife came in this weekend, and same time that Raleigh came in, and
Right.
I'm like, hey, we're all gonna go to dinner, and he's like, yeah, we got this place in Jupiter we're gonna go to. I'm like,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be with the old guys.
Yeah, it's
So,
all good.
No, but
Yeah, just associate yourself with good people. That's always a downfall of young guys too. Is like
Right.
if you get caught up with the wrong crowd, and
Yeah,
that can definitely influence
it
a
definitely
direction
affects.
in your life that you can go down a rabbit hole with that one.
You can be the wrong crowd.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
How you doing over there, Phil?
I'm doing great.
Living the dream, looks
I'm
like.
living the dream.
Yeah.
he's,
All right,
he's
cool.
ready to go.
Cool. Any other shout outs you want to give to anybody here before we wrap this up?
I mean, we work with a lot of different people, and like mostly specific to down here. I know we talked about them, but I mean, like the Seakeeper guys are great, and what an amazing piece of equipment. To see that they got the new Seakeeper 1 that came out. That was pretty cool.
I was down here just to talk about the Seakeeper thing for a second. I was here with my father-in-law is a boat dealer up in New Jersey. He's a scout dealer and sea chaser and stuff. And he wanted to talk to the Seakeeper guys, so we got to see some of the new. And I was amazed at how they're not that big.
Size of a life raft.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was cool. The guy gave us the whole nickel tour on it, and
Right.
that was cool to see.
I tell people, because I'll always turn it off, like when we get people on. We fished 2 weeks ago, I guess. We reached out to Everglades, just like and did this sort of unsolicited and just said, hey, you guys have done so many things for us. We want to get you guys out on the water. And I said, we'd like to take 10 of you out fishing. you know, 5 one day and 5 the next, and take you to dinner and just thank you for everything. You know, they're supporters at the gala, supporters of the raffle, so everything we do, they support. So we took them out, and you know, it's funny because I always talk about how, you know, they build the boats, but they never get to use them. You know, so they really don't see how they fish, and as they're doing some designs for some new models and new boats, they got a lot out of being on the boat and watching it fish. But I'd get out there and, you know, I'd tap the sea keeper and shut it off, and a couple of them would figure it out, but then the other ones, it took a while until it started really rocking and rolling, then they would figure it out. But I always try and do that with people, and that was pretty cool because we had 10 of them on there. We caught 9 of them sailfish.
Right.
9 out of 10 caught sailfish.
That's good.
That's awesome.
It's a good conversion rate there.
Yeah, it's like we need that for a tournament.
Yeah.
And the guy who didn't catch one, he lost a tight line twice. He had opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sled line slack, but
Yeah.
it happens. You don't do it every day, you know.
Tight lines.
But
keep it
to them, they were like, "Oh, you guys are like the best." I'm like, it's not always this good.
tight.
We just got lucky.
Yes, we are. Thank you very much.
But no, you know, and we've done a lot with Release Marine, and you know, I know the you know, a bunch of different people that work with us and so forth. But you know, those are some of the bigger ones. You know, it's hard because you don't ever want to miss anybody.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. It probably wasn't a fair question to ask,
Yeah,
but I just want to
mean-
make sure that, you know, because this is very much a program where, you know, like I said, Connected by Water community kind of brings,
Right.
you know, rallies together and supports a cause. So,
Yeah.
no,
but
but you
it-
have a lot of people associated
We have
with
a
the
lot,
boat.
a lot of good people, and I would say like around,
Probably way too many to name.
Yeah,
like two,
around
three.
this tournament, I mean, really Sundance and Big Dog are really such big parts of it, and you know, they're local companies,
Yep.
so definitely give a big shout out to them. You know, stop by and check out the inventory at Sundance, and you know, go buy a rig or a rod from Trey at Big Dog.
Awesome. Very cool.
But and yeah, it's going to be a great tournament. You know, you'll really appreciate you helping to promote it, and you know, we're looking forward to it, and you know, we're hoping we can find a way to get up over that 50 boat mark, and you know, hopefully we have a couple other boats. You know, another challenge, if anybody's watching this, to throw it out there. You know, it's, you know, tournament fishing is a lot of fun, but if anybody thinks they might have an idea that they might want to take, you know, 1 or 2 kids out and just fun fish that day, and you know, and we always try and take, you know, obviously one parent with them, and you know, muscular dystrophy is such a wide range of diseases that are out there. You know, it's not like you're going to have to take somebody that's unable to get around. I mean, you have kids that can walk still. They may be real weak. You may have to hold the rod for them, you know, whatever it may be. But if anybody listening out there, you know, just says, hey, you know, I don't have a crew together, but they want to participate somehow, you know, give us a call, because maybe we can, you know, hook them up with a couple of kids with MD, and they can just go right out of the inlet and just drop some lines over and let the kids have a good time, put a
Absolutely.
smile on
Right.
their face.
Absolutely.
So, if
And
somebody-
that, you know, that goes a long way
Yeah.
with them. That's a lifetime experience for them. Might be like a half day for you.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? But that's a lifetime for them.
Yep.
You know, and it really, really is.
Right.
You know, that could be one of the, I mean, you don't know, that could be like really like one of the greatest things that's ever happened to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
So I just volley that out there. If anybody
Yeah.
listening, you know, just says, hey, you know, we got tournaments 3 weeks before, 3 weeks after. That's a week we're doing a break.
Yep.
You know, hey, you can still go out and fun fish for 3 or 4 hours, and we could get a couple of kids together and put them on the boat with you, and you know,
Yep.
something else to do.
No doubt about it. We want to give a shout out to our sponsor too. Once again, the Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. If you're in the market for a car or a truck, especially that beautiful Ram truck that we have now, that Rebel, go see my buddy Dean. He's the guy. He'll give you the best deal he can. You mention my name, mention the show, they'll hook you up. They definitely will. Dean's a good guy. I spoke to him the other day. He called me to say thank you for sending so many people my way, right? And I said, how they doing? He said, well, they're walking out of here happy. So whatever that means, I said, all right, that's a good thing.
Awesome.
So go see Dean, go say hi. Want to invite everyone to go to connectedbywater.com, check out our new shop. Got a lot of cool things going on there. You hope you guys make some purchases there and, you know, do some good by us. And then that's about it. So I want to thank everyone for coming on today.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
All right,
Dennis.
we're going to try to catch some fish in a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's
Let's do
right.
it.
That's right.
All right. I'll see if I can
Teach us a few things.
Yeah. See if I can weasel my way out of the studio.
He'll be coming back here. Man, I went fishing with these guys. They have no idea what they're doing.
You know, the running joke in the studio now is that because I got Jenny, the designer, and Jenny running production. I get Jenny and Jenny, two Jennys here. So they make a joke that they're going to rename the company Jenny and Associate. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if they're going to let me go. So I'm going to say, well, I'm leaving for fishing. They're like, no, you owe us projects. So we'll see. Phil, thanks for coming and being so talkative over there. And you want to say anything? Any parting words?
Good.
You're good. All right.
Seriously?
There has to be something.
You gotta say something.
Come on, Phil.
Bring it home.
Just hope to see everybody out at the tournament, and hopefully this year I can make it.
All right. There you go. All right,
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. Your ego is not your amigo, right? Just always do your best and let God do the rest. Remember to buy all your vehicles at Joey Cardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. No matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, do not ever forget that we are always connected by water. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate your time today.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Yep. You good? Right, I'll move you.
There you go. Good job, brother. Just made a jump.
That's a nice fish.
Is that what you want?
Yeah. You can get the middle and lift it up on the side. Okay. And then he can at least get a shot with him if he can. Just hold that rod in case he loses him, Dennis.
Yep.
I don't know, he's got a lot of pressure on him.
Ah, there you go. That's all right. He was dark.
Got some good video of him right
Better off.
there.
Yeah.
He'll live. So we got February 18th, 2020. Dennis catching 2 sailfish on the FFMD, 3 for 5. There's a quad, what could have been.
Another example.
Thanks, Dennis, for all your help. Being prepared, being ready.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. I love it. This is going up in the podcast room.
Sweet.
Another example of being connected by water.
Yep.
That's it.